Alright traders, George here, and I've got some things to share with you relative to gold. Right now I'm looking at the futures on the multi-fib model that we have for MetaStock. I'm also going to show you some gold stocks that are setting up here as well, but first I want you to get these price points down for gold itself, for the gold futures. For the multi-fib model, it's no secret that gold has been in a downtrend off of a parabolic move up and really correcting hard over the last 2 years. As for the model that I'm looking at here, the RM major has gone bearish yet again over here, moving to red. So this is a pretty significant turn. But since that's happened, while we have made a new relative low here, we made a new relative high here, and then we've pulled back and not yet broken the 1179 low here. So if you've been looking at the other videos that I've been doing, you know these price points pretty well. We are currently at 1251. The bulls have done a good job of starting to dig in here, and I just want you to be aware of these price points. Right now we're at 1251. I mentioned that if 1200 could hold, we're likely going to see 1243. Over 1243 puts us in a new potential move up, which has 1267 as the next key target, then 1356, then 1429. 1429 is in line with this resistance swing right here. So where we are right now is gold has started to drift up here a bit. We've crossed this yellow signal line. Candles are white. Those are two bullish signals that are firing off here. I'll throw a third one in that this swing low here at 1179 still has not been broken to the downside. And if this low here holds, then we have a much better shot of at least getting up to 1267. If we happen to start breaking down here, I would also watch 1220. If we break below 1220, which is $31 lower than where we are, we're likely going to 1200. But this could be the start of something bigger. Now over here on the lower right, you'll see the RM major is still red, so that's significant. But the RM minor, the black and white bars here, the RM minor has actually moved up to the zero line and could be getting ready to cross up. It did over here and took gold on a better ride than we've seen in a while. It tried to here, not too much going on. It did here, got a little bit going. But this is setting up to do that yet again. In doing so, that would really correlate with the move up to 1267. At 1267, we would expect some resistance. If we pull back after hitting that, watch for 1243 to hold as support. That would be a real key test if that happens to occur. So we're starting to get a little bit of bullish energy here. Two clear turns on the chart. So this is building. A bottom here is potentially being put in for gold. We also have the psychological round number of 1200. Before I move you over to stocks, this low zone here in the 1200 1179 zone, this correlates to about a 382 retrace from gold's move up from the 70s. So it has a higher fib relevance in terms of where this could be putting in a significant bottom. So with that in mind, let's look at some gold stocks. Alright, first off to Freeport here, FCX. You can see here that we had price closing over the yellow signal line several months ago, and that sent this stock on a pretty good ride. We just broke below, we broke above, broke below, so we're starting to fight in the $34 to $38 neighborhood. As patterns go, this could be putting in a cup and handle style pattern, and if you look to the left, 41 would be the key first stop on a breakout, so maybe a 5% breakout from where it is here. We're currently at 36s. Look to the lower right now. Here's the RM major crossing from red to blue, and then note the RM minor going from black to white over here a while back over the summer. So this is what is setting up for the gold futures, and you can see the kind of follow through that comes after that. If the gold futures do this, with some of these gold stocks already starting to show maybe some leadership over gold itself, we could see a big turn in the gold miners, which have clearly been one of the worst performers in this incredible bull market we've had. So rather than just trying to buy every dip because you think it's too low, look at strength of signal and just keep at it. And that's what I'm looking at here, is an array of signals happening on gold stocks. So for Freeport, with the $34 area holding and more near term the $35 area holding on the two most recent pullbacks, we're poised for a breakout here, and over this 38 plus threshold look to 41 as the first test zone. Okay, so that's a real good looking setup here where we're breaking to some new relative highs, pulling back, testing resistance as support, and then consolidating, getting ready for a breakout. Now again, if we break down here, just like on the big gold chart, that could see a much deeper retrace. Now another big sort of multi-purpose miner to look at is BHP. This one tells a bit of a different story. Here, driving down to some new relative lows, we made a new relative high here, but when we corrected below the big Mo here, we did an outside return and put in resistance here at about 68. You can also see the Fib dot master trend black line at the top switch to the top, which is bearish. The RM miner has also gone bearish here over the last 7 weeks or so. So for this particular miner, which is one of the big ones to look at, this one is looking a little bit negative here. And really with a break below 63s, we could see a much deeper sell-off here for BHP. Now to the plus side, just recently it's gapped up from the 64s and made it back up to 67. If we can transition back over the big Mo here, watch for a follow-through RM miner bar going white, and then from 68 plus we should see a retrace of about 73. That would be the main target to look for initially. And then over that, look to the left. We've got pretty much a clear ride up to about 80, 81s, which would be a real nice move for this. But this action here is a little bit more bearish looking than what we just saw for Freeport. All right, on to Gold Corp. You can see Gold Corp actually made a new relative low here just recently in December. It just crossed back over the yellow signal line here, the big Mo, which is bullish. The RM miner has just tried to go white and then was beaten back down, and it's sort of living in the $22 to $23 neighborhood right now. Watch for a follow-through white RM miner bar to print here. Price crossing over the green Fib dot here would be more strength of signal that we're moving up. Look to the left back in October. We're right about where we had support, and that acted as resistance initially. If we can break above it, we're going to change that from support here to resistance back to support. That would be a real big step for Gold Corp here. And then looking to these swing highs really is the next key target areas. The first initial one coming in at about 27 and then up to about 31 plus for the first two zones to watch. The RM major is still red here and has been for a very long time. So there's an underlying drag to this whole process here. But these are the building blocks to an end of move. Okay, that's what we're looking for, is strength of signal from the multi-fib model here. This is a great stock to have on the watch list in a severely beaten down industry that could be putting in some key bottoms right now. So that's Gold Corp. Then to Yamana. You'll notice here that we drove down to some new relative lows just over the last 7 weeks, and we're starting to make our way back up. Of course, the underlying RM major still bearish here, but look at the RM minor. We've already got a few white bars printing here. We've crossed over the big Mo. We're finding resistance here at the green fibs, a continuation past that point, which would see price over 970s, would really put this in great position to retest these swings here in the upper 11s and mid 12s. That would be the initial target zone to watch if we start to rotate back up. It's starting to show some good strength here, and where we had support here, we broke to some new lows. We've recovered that area, and just a little bit more of a push here, and we should see a pretty good move up in Yamana. That's a pretty good looking end of move as these patterns go. Another thing to watch with any of these that still have the black fib master trend dots on top, when they ultimately flip to be on the bottom, that will be another great piece of strength of signal to the upside for the miners. Okay, so that's Yamana. So with gold starting to maybe stabilize at 1200 and move up a bit, some of these miners starting to put in some better looking end of move patterns. BHP maybe looking a bit conflicted there. Here's Newmont Mining, and this one is actually looking maybe the weakest of the ones that we've looked at so far. This thing has just driven down to some new relative lows, making them later than the other stocks have. This one coming at the end of December here for the most recent low. It's just recently crossed over the big Mo here, the yellow line, but it's almost by default by drifting sideways that it's moved above. The RM minor has moved up to the center line, but we have no white bars printing. We have a real strong RM major bear trend underneath this. And if you look to where we had support over here before breaking to new lows, we're not really quite there to test that as resistance yet. So 2670s would be about the floor here, and obviously we've got to go up $2 plus tax just to get there. So we could see an 8% move up in Newmont, only to see some serious resistance there. And this could be the caboose to the gold rally. If we do get one, watch Newmont to take over 26. Start trading in the 27s would be a good sign that that's underway. This one needs to do some work here, but that is Newmont, one of the key ones to watch. And I'll end it here on silver wheaton. Obviously not a gold miner, but really playing in harmony with what's happened with gold. And let's take a look at our RM major here, obviously red, but trying to narrow the gap here. RM minor has gone to the bullish side and printed a few bars in the white, okay? The low for silver wheaton came here many months ago. It had a great impulse up that was severely challenged here, and then drifting sideways and then starting to make its way up. So it's traded over the big Mo. We've got white candles. We've got RM minor in gear down here. And we're actually above some of these support swings here. We're finding a little resistance at the green fib dot. That's a real good piece of strength of signal to see price pass and trade above that zone. We're currently at 22.32s, and really for round numbers, watch 23 to become owned by the bulls, and in doing so there's a little resistance swing here, but this is the main goal, is to get up to this resistance swing here. It's very close to where it initially stalled out here and then really sold off. If you look to now the right, you don't hear me saying that too often, but trace this low here, it completely correlates where the resistance came in here. And so in the 28 plus the low 29s, that's the main target here for a strong move up in silver wheaton. For all of these setups here, breaking to new relative lows, trading below the big Mo, getting below the recent structure swings here would be major warning signs that each one of these instruments has potentially even lower to go. Breaking any of their recent multi-month lows would be extremely bearish. It's a tentative grip here that gold is putting on 1200. It's got a little bit more work to do, but these are the early warning signs that you want to keep on top of. The multi-fib model here on MetaStock, making it pretty easy to see it visually. So these are on my watch list, and I'll show you more of this in the live room. That'll do it for now.